It is week number 13 of the high school football season, and tonight, your defending state champion Chardon Hilltoppers made the hour-plus trek down southeast to Girard to Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Cardinals of Canfield. It's round 3 of the Ohio High School Athletic Association high school football playoffs. It is the regional semifinals here at Division III, Region 9. How you doing, everyone? Matt Jaworski and Ryan Radke with you as we get you set for this one. And Ryan, a huge game tonight against an opponent that the Hilltoppers are familiar with. Chardon just hoping for a case of deja vu.
Yeah, last year in the playoffs, they met Canfield up in Chardon. That was a home game there.
How's it going?
Beat them pretty handily. Looking to do that again. Both these teams play pretty good defense, so look for a defensive battle tonight. Canfield likes to throw the ball a little bit more than Chardon. The wind is going to be a factor tonight. That could affect their offense. We'll have to wait and see. And, just down on the field pregame, we could feel the wind, and it's going to affect the kickers tonight as well.
Absolutely. So a lot of things could be changing as this game progresses, specifically because of the weather situation. But the one thing you can count on, both of these teams will be running the football. And whoever can create the turnovers tonight is going to put themselves in a good position to win this one. With that, we're going to pause, take a timeout. We're going to send it down on the field for the pregame festivities.
Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club coverage of Chardon football is brought to you by Achilles Running Shop, the Burr Funeral Home, Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, Chardon Chester Rental, the Connick Law Firm, El Patron, DNS Automotive and Defender Auto Glass, Hazen Contracting Incorporated, the Junction Auto Family, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, Chardon Smile Center, Zarzer Motors, Joe Burnett at Union Home Mortgage and the McCaskey team, Lake Health Foundation, the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome out the Chardon Hilltoppers Marching Band.
And here come your defending state champion, Chardon Hilltoppers. Welcome everyone to Arrowhead Stadium here in Girard. Matt Jaworski, Ryan Aradke with you. About 5 minutes or so prior to kickoff. It is electric.
Yeah, it's quite the atmosphere today. We had the cowbells going. Big crowd, long trip from Chardon to get down here to Girard, but a big crowd has turned out tonight, and everyone is excited. There's a long history of good games between Chardon and Canfield football, so exciting to get out here and have another one in the playoffs, just like we had a year ago as well.
Absolutely. And with both teams on the field, we'll be pausing for a minute here as the band prepares to play the national anthem.
Stand and join and sing our national anthem, which will be performed by the Chardon Hilltoppers Marching Band.
Wonderful job by the band. Of course, it's what you come to expect here in Chardon.
Absolutely right. Such a great job by the band every week, and good pregame performance once again, and excited for this one. It's going to be really important. It's always really important, but it's going to be really important in particular on a night like tonight to take care of that football. Two good defenses are going to be doing battle tonight. You need to make sure you hold on to the rock. There's not probably going to be a lot of a passing game with this win tonight, so hold on to that rock when you're running the football. You don't want to create any turnovers. Take care of the ball. Chardon is a bit bigger on the line than Canfield, so that would go in Chardon's favor. Take care of the football, and I think you'll end up in a good place at the end of the night. But this is not going to be a high-scoring affair. I don't think anyone's going to get to 30 for sure. Getting to 20 might be hard tonight between these two teams with these defenses.
You say that, and it's going to be like 66-63.
I know. I just put us in for a shootout. But on paper, this game does not scream shootout. This game kind of, screams, 24-17, 17-14, something like that is what this game would look like on paper. Of course, I think that's kind of what we thought a year ago, and Chardon wound up winning that one pretty handily. So we'll see how this one goes here tonight.
Well, revenge has been the word of the week for the Cardinals. Make no mistake about that. You read their local papers down there, you listen to their local media, and Coach Mike Pavlensky has continued to use that R word all week long, and he has talked about his team needing to do what they didn't do last time around, and that's hold on to the football.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the Hilltoppers, the defense is just as good this year as it was a year ago, and they like to force those turnovers. They like to make you make those mistakes. So it's going to be very important for Canfield to hold on to the football and, stay away from the penalties, because you don't want to get behind the chains against the Hilltoppers either. Get yourself behind the chains, get yourself off schedule. Hilltoppers defense puts you away and you're punting. So got to take care of those two things tonight if you're Canfield. I mean, it's great to say we need to play for revenge. Let's go out there. But, for both teams, a lot of the seniors that were here a year ago are gone. So, it's great to say play for revenge, but it's a brand new game here this time around, and a lot of new faces on both sides of that ball as they head out on the field.
Well, heading out to the field will be the Hilltoppers return unit. They will start with the ball as Canfield gets ready to tee this one up and kick off the regional semifinals here in Girard.
And look, when you expect it to be a close game, winning the coin toss is an early win because it allows Canfield to try to play 2-for-1 around halftime and change the complexion of the game. So, big early win for Canfield winning that coin toss.
Ben Pugh has the ball teed up. Liebhart, one of the guys back deep to receive, going to be a shorter kick taken near the 15, 25, 30, 35, and the Hilltoppers will start near the 40-yard line. That was...
I think it was Perico who returned that.
It was Rocco Perico. Had to wait to see that number.
Yeah, and it almost looked like they were going to run into each other. Obviously, good communication down there, and instead Liebhart switched in front and threw a block for Perico, and Hilltoppers get a nice return out to the 39 to get things started.
So Alex Henry and company come on to the field to start this one here. First down and 10 from the 39. Toppers tight wing T formation. They send a man in motion. They look to hand it off right side. Bruce nowhere to go. They tried that jet sweep.
Yeah, that was Bruce in there. Canfield's a good defense. They've watched the film. They know most of the time when Bruce is in there, it's going to be that jet sweep, and they were there for it on the first play of the game to stop it for nothing.
Guys up front for the Hilltoppers tonight: Adam Jackson, Simon Rodriguez, Aiden Ishii, Logan Bryant, and TJ Altman. Alex McDonald, the big tight end. Alex Henry, the QB, from the gun. Will hand it off. Right side, Carr. Carr up near the 43. And we'll bring up third and long.
Yeah, defensive end gets in there for Canfield to make the tops. Toby Smith, he's an inside linebacker, and he was able to get in there and get the stop.
We're going to see a lot of running backs tonight. Amongst them, Ryan Peterson, Rocco Perico, aforementioned Sean Carr, Daniel Pettyjohn, Trey Liebhart, and A.J. Bruce. And who knows, maybe even Zorn Vuyaklia and Nick Fade, depending on how things go.
10 in the box here for Canfield, Matt.
Third and 6. Nathaniel Salka lined up near side. And it's me, Alex Henry. Henry gets the first down across midfield. Henry out to about the 49-yard line, straight up the gut, moving the chains.
And you're going to need to rely on Alex Henry a lot tonight. He's going to need to get those runs up the middle, and he gets one there. Picks up the first down, moves the chains. Looks like the Hilltoppers might have gotten away with some movement on the left side of their line. They certainly won't complain about that, Matt, as they pick up a first down and the drive is going.
Defensive line for the Cardinals: Hunter Canotes, Caden Kuhot, Dom Marzano, and Dom Donato. Get you the rest in just a minute here. Henry going to keep it again up the gut, and Henry near the 44. Good gain on first down. Linebackers tonight include, for Canfield, Drew Carcione, Toby Smith, and Ryan Schneider. Guys in the secondary. The safeties: Nico Coca, Brock Lowry, who's the QB, so he goes both ways. And then the cornerbacks: Paulo Papalawa and Oliver Kovas. Paulo's name's going to be biting me all night.
A lot to ask for your quarterback to go two ways in a regional semifinal game.
Now remember, Drew Fetchick did that last year, though.
He did.
Pitch right side, Pettyjohn near the first down.
It's a nice play call there. You get Pettyjohn involved, and it's not a handoff. So much of the offense is involved in those handoff on the sweeps. That time it was a pitch out to Pettyjohn. Pettyjohn doesn't usually receive pitches. He's usually coming out on that jet run from the jet back position. So nice little play call there. You pick up first downs, and you got 2 first downs on this drive, and you're methodically moving the chains here.
Hilltoppers want these long time consuming drives to help keep Brock Lowry off the field. The all-world quarterback for Canfield. Carr straight up front, and Carr had his legs taken out from under him by one of the blitzing defensive players. That was Knotes who came and got the stop.
And Canfield is going to do their best today to keep that middle of the field as jammed up as possible. You talked about how pretty much everyone is lining up in the box for Canfield, and the linebackers are protecting run on every play.
Caden Dawson split end near side. From the gun, man in motion, Henry will go up the gut, and Henry picks up a couple yards down to about the 35-yard line.
Picked up a couple yards as we can watch this defense start to play. You can see the early going. Toby Smith, the inside linebacker. Alex Henry is his assignment tonight. If you watch him play, he's watching Alex Henry, and he's trying to move with Alex, not the ball.
3rd down and 6, Salka. Wide receiver out far to the left. Henry from the gun sends Pettyjohn in motion, gives it to Pettyjohn right side. 1st down and more. Pettyjohn on his feet across the 30, down to about the 27, but a late flag comes out. It's against the Hilltoppers.
Peterson threw a block on the outside, but there's holding out there on the far side of the line, so the Hilltoppers have to walk that back, and that's a critical error. These are the type of things you can't afford to do tonight. It's probably going to be a defensive battle. You have a good drive going, you're moving the football, and now you're going to be facing a 3rd down and 16 on a night when the wind really kind of puts throwing the ball out of the equation. Well, 3rd down and 11 from the spot. But still, throwing the football's pretty much out of the equation tonight.
Now that penalty put him out of field goal range. 3rd and 12 from the 41. Henry fakes the handoff, going to go right side. Henry 40, 35. Henry on his feet and out of bounds near the 32. Will bring up 4th down and a few.
Good play call there because you're in 4-down territory. You lined up 2 wide receivers on the near side of the field, and you sent Henry out to the far side. So you stretched that defense out a little bit the other direction, gave him some room, and you set up about a 4th down and 4, looking from where we're sitting. Not an easy 4th down, but certainly one the Hilltoppers have picked up this year.
Well, this is huge against a good defense like Canfield. 4th and 4 from the 32. They hand it off. Sean Carr. Carr up the middle. Where did he fall? Hilltoppers say they have it. Canfield says they don't. Officials moving bodies around. I think they're going to have to bring out the chains.
Yeah, the Sean Carr just dove over that. Oh, man, where they spotted that, that's close. I think it might be a tad short, and it is.
About a half-yard shy.
That's a big momentum push for Canfield early. The Hilltoppers picked up 2 first downs. Looked like they picked up a 3rd. They commit the holding penalty to put them back behind the chains, and then Canfield gets the stop. And so the first swing of momentum in this game goes the way of the Cardinals.
So out comes Brock Lowry looking to throw. No, going to run it up the middle. Lowry spun around and dropped near the 30.
Good defense on the first play by the Hilltoppers to stand on. That was Kisley who was in the backfield, able to make that stop as they faked the screen. Kisley kept his eyes on the QB the whole time, was able to get back there and stop him at the line of scrimmage for no gain on the keeper.
Brock Lowry this season, more than 1,600 passing yards and 15 touchdowns through the air. Kid can run as well. Lowry, quick throw near side. It's caught 30, 35, and not much more than that.
Rocco Perico gets in there and gets the stop. A little bit of play action there. Perico just kept his eyes on the receiver, able to get the stop. It's a pick of about 5, so 3rd down and 5. Talked about the Hilltoppers defense, so good at getting off the field. You need to get off the field here. Canfield maybe trying to pick up some momentum after that 4th down stop. A 3 and out will kill that momentum, so you want to get this stop here, get your offense back out on the field.
3rd and 5 from the 35. 2 receivers to each side. Now man Carcioti going in motion. Lowry hands it off, and he slips and falls behind the line of scrimmage.
Tried to change his direction there. The Hilltoppers linebackers did a great job of filling those gaps. He didn't see anywhere to go. He wanted to go back right, and he just slipped. there's going to be nowhere to go anyway. Too many Hilltoppers there, and just about what you expect from the Chardon defense on the first drive of this game, getting a 3-and-out.
Danny Inglis will punt the ball.
Well, this will be an interesting time of the game tonight, the punt game. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. The wind is blowing in his face, but across the field from right to left. It's a weird angle.
Short punt. Fetchick going to watch it bounce. Will come up, pick it up near the 39, up to the 40, and Fetchick down to about the 47. That's where the Hilltoppers will take over.
That ball bounced right into the chest of Fetchick, so made it pretty easy for him to decide to return, and he picks up about 7 on the return. You can see the wind affect that punt, Matt. That one got up, and it just started coming down. It's the type of night it's going to be.
Well, you look at this field. This field is a worn turf field. Make no mistake about that one. Nowhere near the condition of Chardon's field or some of the others in Geauga County right now. Henry going to keep it himself across midfield. Henry out near the 48. Cardinals have talked this week on local media about the need to create turnovers. And if you read between the lines, which I tend to do sometimes, they were talking about going after those guys who they know will fumble the football.
Yeah, and so that's why it's going to be so important. If you're a guy who's running the ball up the middle a lot like Alex Henry, make sure you've got that football secured, because they're not just tackling you, they're going to be ripping.
Henry again up the gut, 40. Henry down near the 36. He's having some success running straight up the middle. They were keyed in on Daniel Pettyjohn that time.
Yeah, that was good. They went to Pettyjohn a lot on that first drive, so they kind of have Canfield set up for it. Fake the handoff, and Henry just runs behind the Peterson block and picks up the first down.
Near the 4.5-minute mark in this opening quarter. No score here between Canfield and Chardon. Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you here on GTV. Hilltoppers will hand it off, and Carr moving the pile straight ahead on first down.
Carr go to the left there, get him between the left tackle and the left guard. He picks up about 6 yards before he's brought down, and now the Hilltoppers, that first drive, the Canfield defense really seemed zeroed in, but Hilltoppers are slashing a little bit through this defense for 4 or 5 at a time here on this second drive right now.
Well, this Canfield D-line, not the biggest Chardon has gone against this postseason or this season in general. Henry from the gun, receiver to the left. Looks like somebody flinched. They do hand it off Pettyjohn near the 30, up near the 28, and the host of Cardinals pushed him back.
Yeah, not sure what happened first there, but I'll tell you what, a lineman, Dom DiDonato, was fortunate he didn't jump across the line there. Good pickup for the Hilltoppers, sets up third down and short.
Salka comes in on 3rd and 2. Hilltoppers with the ball in the 29. This is right where they turn the ball over on downs, their last possession.
So with the wind the way it is today, this is 4-down territory, so you got 2 plays to pick up this yard.
Henry, right side. Henry has the first down out near the 26 right side. Looked like that time it was Carochi who brought him down, but moved the chains.
And that was just great blocking there by the Hilltoppers on the offensive line, Matt. Simon Rodriguez there, Logan Bryant putting blocks in there to open things up for Henry and move the chains. And, they went to Pettyjohn so much on that first drive. They've got Canfield kind of forgotten about Alex Henry a little bit, and he's had some big gains here on this second drive.
Toppers will give it to Sean Carr. Sean Carr up the gut near the 22, gain of about 4. Folks, keep this in mind as well. We heard the officials talk with this to both coaches. They do have the normal game clock on the field, but the other clock's running as well. So both teams were warned, make sure you get up to the line. We're timing you guys tonight. It's not up in the booth. It's on the field.
Yeah, the play clock is there, so it's, the officials maybe a couple seconds slower up here as soon as
Henry
that
looking to throw.
wound.
Pump fakes. No, he's taken down for a sack at the 30. Actually, check that. He threw it. Nope.
Yeah, I would say he didn't let go of that. It's incomplete.
I saw another football all of a sudden come in from
The Hilltoppers chose to throw for the first time on the same play that the linebackers were blitzing for. Oh, no, I guess
they did throw it. Well, he had us faked.
We'll take it because it's not a loss, right? So they'll take that and move them up to 3rd down and 6. Looked like it was going to be a loss of 6.
Yeah, Hunter Canote's bringing a lot of pressure that time. Knocked Henry down. Henry calling timeout, does not like what he sees.
Well, you don't want to stall out again, so try to get this figured out. While they do, we'd like to remind you tonight's special Cablecast is funded by your cable subscriber franchise fees, and we'd like to again extend thanks to all the GTV funding communities, including those not funding tonight's contest for their year-round support. They are Burton Village, Chardon Township, the City of Chardon, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township. Thanks again for supporting GTV, and thanks to all our viewers for their support. Now the ball is at the 23-yard line right now, Matt. Even with a kicker as good as Nathan Tagger, I don't know if you can kick from here tonight. The wind is just so wild. This might still be 4-down territory here.
Well, we saw
depending
him
on what you pick up on 3rd down.
We saw him kicking 30-yarders in pregame. Looked okay.
He's hit a couple of long ones, but it was pretty clear with the wind tonight when he was practicing pregame that the 50-yarders are out of the question tonight. So there will be no long ones. The question is, how close can you get with this wind?
3rd down and 6 from the 22. These are the plays that matter. Henry has an opening. Henry up near the 15, moves the chains, 1st down, Hilltoppers. Alex Henry sliced and diced his way to a 1st down up near the 15.
Well, they faked everybody out. They put A.J. Bruce on the field. Most of the time when Bruce is on the field, he gets the football. That time he did not. They faked the handoff to him, and Bruce went out to the left. You could see him pull a bunch of those linebackers to the left with him, open up the 2nd level for Henry to run through for the 1st down.
Toppers 1st and 10 from the 15. Dawson split end in the slot right side. Henry moves Carr over a bit. Man goes in motion. They will hand it off. Left side making a cut. Peterson. Peterson up near the 11 where he is brought down. Toby Smith, one of the linebackers, in on that stop as the clock now nears the 1-minute mark of this 1st quarter.
Peterson gets to the outside. You pick up 4 yards, keep you on schedule. 2nd down and 6 here, and you're eating clock. You've had the ball for this is classic Hilltopper football right now. You've had the ball for all of about a minute of this 1st quarter, and there's only a minute left of it.
Joshua Bruce in the game, as is Pettyjohn. They give it to Carr. Carr, nice move up near the 8, and Sean Carr, good cut. He saw an opening, made an adjustment, and picked up a couple extra yards there on 2nd down.
And still on schedule. You're at 3rd down and about 2 here, and you're definitely in Nathan Tagger's field goal range tonight now. So if you're the Hilltoppers, got to come away with points here. But 3rd down and 2, you want to pick up this 1st down here and keep the drive alive.
Keep an eye on Nathaniel Salka outside to the left. He's got a guy who's 5'11" covering him. That's a good mismatch if they decide to put it in the air. They go to the ground. Henry, right side. Henry picks up the 1st down near the 3.
That's all you need to do. Move the chains, stay methodical, and the 1st quarter is going to come to an end with you having held the football for 11 minutes of it and knocking on the door of a score.
That's what the Hilltoppers want to do from a defensive standpoint. With that, we'll take a timeout here on GTV.
Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club coverage of Chardon football is brought to you by Achilles Running Shop, the Burr Funeral Home, Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, Chardon Chester Rental, The Connick Law Firm, El Patron, DNS Automotive and Defender Auto Glass, Hazen Contracting Incorporated, The Junction Auto Family, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, Chardon Smile Center, Zarzer Motors, Joe Burnett at Union Home Mortgage and the McCaskey team, Lake Health Foundation, the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Welcome back, everyone, to Girard, Ohio, Arrowhead Stadium, home of the Indians. I will still say that about the ballpark downtown Cleveland, by the way.
Yeah, Girard Indians have kept the name. It's still on in the end zone down there to our right, which is the end zone the Hilltoppers are trying to punch into here. First and goal at the 3.
Toppers will give it to Carr. Waiting for an official signal here. Touchdown Toppers from 3 yards out.
Yeah, second time today we've seen Sean Carr jump over a pile. He jumps over the pile, gets into the end zone for a touchdown. Long, methodical drive by the Hilltoppers. And the other thing you do is you start to wear down on that Canfield defense already, as the Hilltoppers have held the ball for about 11 of the 12 minutes of this game to get their first touchdown in.
So Nathan Tagger out to attempt the PAT. High snap. They get it down. The kick is good. Nathan Tagger, boy, showing some flexibility making that kick.
Well, here's a message for Hilltoppers everywhere who are watching tonight's game. The Chardon Schools Foundation, Chardon's academic boosters, are having a fall fundraiser. For almost 2 years, the foundation has been in a fundraising hold due to COVID. There was no TV internet auction this past spring, and they haven't been able to host the annual Firecracker 5K the past 2 summers. So to get back in the game, the foundation is conducting a donation drive at their website, chardonschoolsfoundation.org. Donors will eligible for entry into a drawing on December 1st, so please go to chardonschoolsfoundation.org and donate to help CSF do great things for great students.
Absolutely, it's a great cause, and I gotta say, I've missed the annual GTV Chardon School Foundation auction every spring, but hopefully, keeping our fingers crossed, maybe we can just get that back this upcoming year. Always a great time with that event. But folks, again, if you can, make sure you go to the website and donate. It makes a world of difference, especially with all that is going on within the Chardon schools. The Chardon School Foundation, that's used strictly for the classroom, not for any athletics. Tagger going to kick it off. High kick, got caught up in the wind, was fielded at the 5, 10, 15. Right side 20, 25, cutting back 30, 35, spun around, and a tremendous return by Danny Inglis, the running back.
Oh, man, but I'll tell you what, saving the day for the Hilltoppers there is Zach Callis. If he's able to turn the corner around Callis, he is gone, and that's a touchdown, and you save your momentum. Good touchdown-saving tackle there, and that Chardon defense on the field. This Canfield offense has only been on the field for 3 plays, and they went 3 and out.
In the showdown of defenses, it's now up to the Hilltoppers, who are back on the field to see what they can do. Lowry going to drop back the pass, looking to throw, going to throw toward the sidelines, incomplete. Good coverage on that far side.
Well, he had a nice pocket as his offensive line held true, but then you see the other problem. If your offensive line can manage to hold the Chardon D-line back, now you got to face that secondary, and every receiver was blanketed back there. No good option to get a throw off.
You know, I don't even know if we got a chance to introduce the Chardon defense the first time around. We'll do that after this play. Lowry will hand it off, and nothing going there. Crawford denied.
Second time tonight, Kisley's been in the backfield and gets the stop.
Well, and besides Alec Kisley, Cooper Felger, Michael Washington, Alex McDonald subbing in and out on the line. The linebackers, we'll see a lot of them again. They like to do that subbing. Christian Hall, Heath Fetchick, Brody Dotson, Ryan Peterson, Rocco Perico as well. And in the secondary, Trey Leaphart, A.J. Bruce, Leo Colombi, Nathaniel Salka for your Hilltoppers. Lowry from the gun, dropping back the pass, stepping up in the pocket, avoids one, going to throw downfield. There's a man in and out of his hands. Oh, that was a big play. He had Papalia, but he couldn't hang on to it.
Yeah, Pablo Papalia is going to want that one back. The thing is, the throw was just a little bit behind him as, the quarterback was under pressure in the pocket. He was stepping up. He got the throw off. He didn't get it exactly where he wanted it. And Papalia couldn't quite reach back and keep his stride going, couldn't hold on. You don't often get that kind of space on a Hilltopper defender. The Hilltoppers caught a break there, but when you're a good defense, you can force offenses to make mistakes like that.
So 50 seconds, and they're forced to punt again. That punt will bounce at the 36. Fetchick will watch it roll, and will come to a stop near the 20. Check that, still rolling down to about the 17.
One of the things, you got the newer turf in Chardon, so, it's in a little bit better condition. Sometimes that ball will die. Here, where the turf's flattened out over the years, that ball will just keep on rolling like that.
Yeah, this is more akin to playing on some well-worn grass.
Yes, correct.
You all know what I mean by that when you come home all nice and brown. Toppers will take over 1st and 10 from the 16. Peterson gets the call, looking to go left side. Ryan Peterson on his feet, down near the 25-yard line. Boy, good run on the jet.
Well, did you watch the linebackers? Did you see who they thought had the football? They thought Sean Carr had the football. And there were 3 guys over there tackling Sean Carr. Meanwhile, Ryan Peterson running with the football, picking up 8 yards.
Well, the Hilltoppers have had possession for essentially all but, just under 2 minutes of this game so far. And they are very content to just run the clock, pick up first downs, and move the chains. Peterson again in motion. Peterson again the call. Peterson very close to that first down marker. He made a nice cut at the end and looks like he fell forward to about the 29 to pick it up.
Good decision there for him on that sweep run. It's his job to find the opening, and he ran laterally until he found the opening. Knew it didn't have to be a big one. He just needed to pick up a couple yards. He picks up a couple yards, and he moves the chains.
Coach Don Novotzik said Peterson, one of the unsung heroes on this offense for the Hilltoppers.
He's absolutely right. They give the ball to Peterson. He knows his job. He gets the job done.
Has not even cracked. Well, he's at the 152 mark entering tonight. Again, that time going straight ahead. Hilltoppers moving the football. And it was Henry who had the carry. Boy, Henry has done a very nice job picking and choosing where he's running.
Yeah, this is a good mix of play calling here so far tonight. As you call the 2 jet sweeps, then you let Henry go up the middle. Middle's open up for 5 yards for Alex Henry. And
Hilltoppers over 500 yards last week and destroying Streetsboro. Henry looking to go left side, wrapped up and dropped down near the 35-yard line.
Still might have picked up a couple, I think. But able to get back there to him and looked like Toby Smith in there on the stop again.
Last week it was a case of failure to launch for the Rockets. And right now for the Cardinals, it's a failure to fly with their offense.
Well, they have an opportunity here. They've got a 3rd down and 5 in a situation where Chardon would have to punt. This is an opportunity for this defense to try to give their offense some momentum.
Carr being moved over to the left. Looked like somebody might have moved. Some flags now finally coming out. Going to be a procedure call against the Hilltoppers. Boy, I thought they were drawn off.
It was Peterson going for that sweep run out of the slot, Matt. He took a step first and stopped, and then he went. And that first step and stop was the false start. So that was the loss of 5. So now you're at 3rd down and about 9 here. Like I said, this is a big play here for this Canfield defense. It's your offense back out there. I mean, the Hilltoppers have really dominated time of possession in this game.
Again, Salka going up against number 17, Oliver Kovas, who's 5'11", 170. They're going to throw. That's the guy. That's the matchup right there. They are. Down the field, ball up in the air. Salka had it but couldn't hang on to it. Tight coverage by Kovas. Incomplete, and that will bring up 4th down.
Good coverage by Kovas. And look, the wind played games with that throw, right? That throw looks like it's on target. And again, we saw this with the punt earlier. You could watch the ball stop, and that ball started coming in short, and everyone was coming back for it. Salka had hands on it. If you ask Salka, that's a catch he needs to make. But, I mean, that was weather-inflicted there, that throw ended up the way it did. And it falls incomplete. So a big stop for the Canfield defense.
Hilltoppers, this is their first punt since the Willoughby South game.
It's been a while.
McDonald. Uh-oh. Short punt.
Didn't even get to midfield, Matt.
Well, we'll take a bounce to midfield and roll across to about the 49. Think it was the wind on that one again.
Yeah, the wind is definitely a factor tonight. You're going to want to help yourself out a little bit in that punting game by trying to get maybe some lower line drive style punts. You don't want to get so much air on them, because as soon as that ball hits the jet level here in this stadium, that ball is going to come down. So you want to try to see if you can keep that ball down a little bit lower and underneath that jet level for a little bit longer.
Canfield, their best field position of the night. First down and 10 from the 49. Lowry flags, and this play didn't happen.
Yeah, it looks like we have encroachment against the Hilltoppers coming early. Oh, offense was lined up offsides. I saw them give the encroachment. You don't see the offense lined up offsides very often, Matt. But that's just trying to get that extra step. You know how much trouble you've had as an offensive line in the early going of this game, and you're trying to get that extra step, and you're lined up offsides.
Well, you need to know where the ball is, and all you got to do is look across.
Yep. And if it was a receiver who did it, you could literally ask the official standing right there, am I good?
And believe it or not, they will tell you.
They will, absolutely. They will tell you. Look, he's pointing down. He's like, is this the spot?
First and 15 from the 44. Lowry dropping back the pass over the middle. Ball is caught for a first down out to the 40 or 39-yard line. Went that time to Carochi.
If you're going to pass against this Hilltopper defense, that's what you need to do. You need to do some quick routes there, some quick slants. Try to get yourself between the linebackers and the secondary. That's what they ran there, and they're moving the chains. And right now, Canfield trying to turn their first 3 and out of the game into momentum here to get this game back to even.
First and 10 from the Topper 39. They will hand it off right side. Crawford up near the 36-yard line, maybe the 35. Massive bodies right there. Nice pickup of at least 4, maybe 5 on that first down run.
A little bit more room there for that draw run that time. Good push by that offensive line. And now it's Canfield moving the football.
Now the Hilltoppers D-line, this is where you need to step up and make some plays.
Yeah, this is not a situation. You're at a point right now where they're not going to kick a field goal, so you can stop them 3 times here. You can get the ball back. That's what you need to be looking to do here.
Now play clock under it at 6. They will hand it off. Crawford, nowhere to go. Stood up and actually lost a yard on that run right side.
A good push by the Hilltoppers defensive line. We talked about the Hilltoppers probably a little bit bigger today on the line of scrimmage than Canfield. And they're able to make some good push there up front.
Actually, loss of 2.
And you just need to get 2 stops here to get the ball back, because they're not going to be kicking a field goal.
3rd and 8 from the 37. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Lowry from the gun, running back to his left, dropping back to pass, looking, stepping up in the pocket, going to throw right side, ball up in the air and incomplete. He had a man, but again, the wind playing games with where the ball's going.
Wind playing games with it, and once again, he's under pressure, so he's stepping up in the pocket, and he's stepping up, and he's not quite set the way he wants to when he throws, and that ball is coming down into the turf. Again, that was an open receiver. That was the same play that they missed a wide-open shot on the last drive. The Hilltoppers have left that route open a couple of times now, and so far they haven't had to pay for it.
Papalia caught a break as Salka fell down. 4th and 8 now from the 37. Lowry, quick throw over the middle, incomplete, turnover on downs.
You feel those footsteps coming, right? You're getting the ball coming to you in space, but you can hear Salka coming from one side, Columbi coming from the other side, and you're thinking about, when am I going to get hit? and the ball goes through your hands. Great play by the secondary of the Hilltoppers, and they get the turnover. So this is 2 times now where Canfield had an opportunity to grab some momentum, and the Hilltopper defense has come out and shut that down and get the Chardon offense back on the field.
Now up to the Hilltopper to get this momentum back their way. They go back to the ground. Sean Carr on his feet. Sean Carr barreling ahead down near the 44-yard line. Check that. That was Daniel Pettyjohn, beg your pardon.
And great read by Daniel Pettyjohn there, too. Got behind the Peterson block on one side, then he ran inside the offensive lineman on the other side and found the spot. He picked up 8 yards. Very good field vision there by Pettyjohn.
Oh, what a compliment for Pettyjohn, saying it's running like Sean Carr.
It's a good sign.
2nd and 3. Toppers will pitch it left side. Carr trying to make a cut. Carr barreling ahead 45. And Carr going to be shy of the first down by about a couple yards.
Canfield could have had Carr for a loss there, but they dove at him. And he'll step out of that dive, so he steps out of it, gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard, so you get something out of that. Could have been worse, though.
Will be 3rd and 2 for the Toppers. Ball just on the other side of the 45 now. Clock running 5 minutes and counting. Canfield will get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, in case you're wondering. Been a while since Henry ran. Maybe he's going to keep it here. No, they give it up. And very close to the first down. They will get it based on the spot up near the 48-yard line. Good run by Carr.
Yeah, good push on the second effort by Sean Carr, because on that initial push, Matt, didn't look like he got there, but on second effort, they marked him across the line. So just what you're used to from Sean Carr, good, strong running there to move the chains.
Well, Hilltoppers now have to keep an eye on the clock. 4:30, just a little bit over 4:30 and counting here left before halftime. Not a lot of time to move 53 yards against this tough Canfield defense.
You would love to use 4 minutes of that.
Fake to Peterson, and Henry up the gut near the 47.
Right, that's the game plan here. If the field opens up in front of you, fine, take it. But with Canfield getting the ball to the second half, you want to avoid giving them a 2-for-1. You want to use there's 4 minutes left. You want to use 3.5 of this. Just get points, even if it ends up being a field goal. Just get points and make Canfield not be able to score before the half, so they really only get one drive.
I'd feel a lot better if they were 20 more yards down the field at this amount of clock time left. Hilltoppers will hand it off. Sean Carr. Carr lowering his shoulders and getting near the 45. Of course, Hilltoppers do have 2 timeouts left. Canfield 3.
Canfield knows the situation, too. They'll want to have the opportunity for that 2-for-1. So don't be surprised here if the Hilltoppers pick up this first down and you're under 3 minutes. Don't be surprised if you start seeing Canfield use those timeouts to try to push the issue and get the ball back.
Give this to Carr, and Carr on his feet across the 40, down near the 37. First down, Hilltoppers. Of course, I can make an argument that Canfield may just want to keep this clock running to keep Chardon off the scoreboard potentially.
Well, it's one or the other. So, the reason you like to defer is you like to have that opportunity at scoring 2-for-1. And where Chardon's at on the field right now, it's a really difficult field goal. And this is the direction where the wind is in your face. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do strategically.
Give us to Sean Carr, and Carr again running between the tackles, and Carr picking up about 4 yards on that run left side. Now under 3 to go.
Good work by the linebackers there, Matt, because Carr almost stepped to the outside, and Carochi was able to get over there and make a big stop in the open field. Carr might have been gone for a touchdown.
2:35 and counting. Pettyjohn in motion. They will. No, it's Henry that's going to keep it. He's knocked out of bounds. A hard hit.
Henry had the option there, decided not to get it out, and Kovas got over there to knock him out of bounds. This is 4-down territory here for the Hilltoppers, so you're going to go for it twice. Into the wind, there's no way you can send Nathan Tagger out here for a field goal.
3rd and 3, though, for Chardon, so very manageable to say the least. McDonald, last guy to get set. There he goes. And Chardon will give it to Carr. Carr first down and more. Sean Carr knocked backwards as he neared the 21.
Matt, I think that was Pettyjohn again.
Was it? Yes, it was.
That's Pettyjohn again. He's running like Sean Carr tonight. He goes up the middle, picks up the first down.
That was a Sean Carr type cut.
What a first half for Pettyjohn tonight.
And now officials stopping the clock. I'm not sure why. They want 2:20 on the game clock.
Clock is going to be important in this game. It's a good thing the officials are on that.
Chardon, first down and 10. Inside the 25. Henry up the middle, and Henry out near the 20.
Picks up about 3 yards. Now you're in potential field goal range. It's still going to, I mean, this wind is so crazy. It would still be difficult if you're talking about getting out to around 30, 35 yards, but you're in the range now tonight.
Two backs to each side. They will hand it off. Sean Carr, left side. Sean Carr toward the end zone. And is he in? Touchdown, Toppers! From 19 yards out.
Little draw run for Sean Carr. Gets to the left side. Got a block on the end. Ran around it and just angled for that pylon. And able to dive in at that pylon for the touchdown. Huge touchdown here for the Hilltoppers. Now there's still enough time for Canfield to try to get down the field here, but that's a huge play for the Hilltoppers to give themselves a 2-score lead here late in the first half.
Well, the Hilltoppers have controlled the clock in this first half. And what has been a defensive slugfest so far. Good snap, the kick is up, and it is good. So with 1:44 to play before halftime, Hilltoppers jump out to a 14-0 lead.
We now have a new streaming service. You can see GTV through Roku and Apple TV with the Cablecast ScreenWeave app. Once the user has added the app to their Roku or Apple TV, they can watch both GTV channels, Channel 1020 for community government programming and Channel 1025 for educational programming. Again, it's the Cablecast ScreenWeave app. For more information, you can visit geaugatv.org or email geaugatv@windstream.net. This game is pretty much going to script here for the Hilltoppers, Matt. You've dominated time of possession. In a game that's going to be a defensive battle against another team that, let's face it, they play way more two-way players than the Hilltoppers do. So what do you want to do? You want to wear them down defensively. You've done that here in the first half. And you could see what that does. We saw how they wore down Akron East a couple weeks ago. We saw them way back in week 1 wear down Glenville. And you see what that does to a defense when you dominate time of possession like this in the first half. You got a 2-score lead, but you're wearing those other guys out in the process.
Well, still a long way to go on this one, and with that Canfield offense, this game is never out of reach. Tagger got that one up into the atmosphere, going to be picked up by one of the upbacks, who makes it maybe to about the 34. And that is where the Cardinals will take over with 1:41 to go in this one.
Yeah,
a lot of time left for Brock Lowry, though.
Just watching what the wind is doing to this ball, this might be, particularly when you're going the direction the Hilltoppers were kicking in, you might want to try to squib those. I mean, the wind is just, it's nasty tonight. The weather otherwise is nice. It's about 52 degrees. There's no precipitation. You'll take that in mid-November. It's just this wind is crazy.
Well, we did see Will Francis get that drop kick last week, so it is in their repertoire. Lowry from the gun will keep it himself. Lowry up near the 38-yard line. He has run, by the way, for 750 yards and 12 touchdowns this season.
And it's interesting, Matt. So you want to look at a way that the weather is affecting the play calling. Canfield keeping it safe there on first down, not throwing to try to get down the field. If they get some space, they'll take it. They're spreading the field out here. 3
receivers left, 1 to the right. Lowry has a man in the backfield, going to pitch it out near side. It is caught. And breaking 1 tackle, breaking 2 up near midfield. The Canfield Cardinals get the first down. Papa Leah finally he's caught something.
Papalia was able to just run by the screen. They knew the screen was coming. Bruce was back there, but Papalia was able to run around him. It's a big first down for Canfield. Now across midfield might change things a bit.
They reverse it, 3 to the left, or 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Pass is near side. It is caught and then quickly spun around and dropped. Good coverage by the Hilltoppers. That time it's Trey Liebhart as he brought down Kovas.
Canfield's going to use a timeout here, Matt. What you're going to want to talk to your receiver about there, that route is designed to get you to the outside, so Kovas makes the catch. You want him to go out of bounds. He tried to turn around and get extra yardage. Now, you had the timeouts to use so you can take them, but, in the 2-minute drill, you're going to want him to come out of bounds. GTV is looking for cameramen and production assistants to help on our sports coverage. Email us at geaugatv@windstream.net if you're looking for some fun part-time work. Fun night to be here tonight.
Beautiful night to be here tonight. It is much warmer than it was up near the lake when I left work today.
It is much warmer down here in the Youngstown area, so I don't know how your route took you coming from you were coming from, but I had a nice drive down the old turnpike tonight to get myself over here. So
I went down Vrooman to 86 to 528.
Oh, you had a nice little rural ride today.
Came across some of the Amish.
Nice. There you go.
Lowry flushing out right side. Lowry looking throw, being strung out. Puts it up in the air, and it is incomplete. He made the smart decision and threw it away, and just threw it away from Nathaniel Salka, who almost had a hand on it.
Yeah, great coverage down there by the Hilltoppers. You had Bruce, the corner there, and then Salka coming over as well to provide coverage from the safety area. You had 2 guys back there. It was a route that was double covered. There was no chance to complete that pass, but he had nowhere else to go. That play was designed to get you a long way down the field, and the Hilltoppers just defended it extremely well. There's only one option there. There's no other read there. You're going for that deep ball, and the Hilltoppers took it away.
Surprised that he just didn't throw it out of bounds. Bit dangerous because Nathaniel Salka nearly took it.
He's a good quarterback. I'm sure he's a confident kid. Thought he could put it in there, but you're right. Salka almost took that one away from him.
3rd and 6 from the 45. Lowry stepping up. Lowry brought down for the sack.
Alex Kisley again. That's the first time it's a sack, but that's the 3rd time he's been in the backfield for a tackle for a loss. He did it twice to the run game, and now he does it on a sack there. And Kisley looked like he was unblocked there, Matt. He got back there so quickly. And Canfield now is just going to let the first half run out.
Smart move on their part.
What a first half for both the Chardon offense and the defense. The offense is methodical, dominates time of possession, gets 2 scores, and the defense does their job to this good Canfield offense.
Well, the Hilltoppers will head into the locker room up 14-0 here at halftime. We'll take a timeout. We urge you to stick around because the band is coming up next here on GTV.
Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club coverage of Chardon football is brought to you by Achilles Running Shop, the Burr Funeral Home, Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, Chardon Chester Rental, the Conic Law Firm, El Patron, DNS Automotive and Defender Auto Glass, Hazen Contracting Incorporated, the Junction Auto Family, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, Chardon Smile Center, Zarzer Motors, Joe Burnett at Union Home Mortgage and the McCaskey team, Lake Health Foundation, the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing the 2021 Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band. The band is being led onto the field by our senior drum majors Michael Molesky and Joseph Joquin. The music for our show this evening was selected by our senior class. Our first tune was released in 1974 and has sold over 11 million copies. It was then covered by CeeLo Green and Jack Black for the Kung Fu Panda franchise. Here is Kung Fu Fighting! Up next, we feature our Topperettes in a tune from 2010 by pop artist Katy Perry. With captains Lindsey Craig and Alana Kolek, here is Teenage Dream. evening with a tune that has earned Lady Gaga 2 Grammy Awards for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance. In 2021, Rolling Stone magazine included it in their updated list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. We now feature our majorettes, Faith, Lauren, Courtney, Hallie, Julianne, and Savannah in Bad Romance. Gentlemen, put your hands together for the Chardon High School fight song.
Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club coverage of Chardon football is brought to you by the Achilles Running Shop, the Burr Funeral Home, Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, Chardon Chester Rental, the Connick Law Firm, El Patron, DNS Automotive and Defender Autoglass, Hazen Contracting Incorporated, the Junction Auto Family, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, Chardon Smile Center, Zarzer Motors, Joe Burnett at Union Home Mortgage and the McCaskey team, Lake Health Foundation, the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Well, great halftime show by the band. Boy, the Hilltopper Marching Band always performing at that top-notch level.
Absolutely. Great show again. And now an important drive to start this second half, Matt.
For who?
Well, for both things. I mean, right, so you set kind of the momentum for the entire second half on this drive. The Hilltoppers get another stop. It's 14-0. Hilltoppers in control of the first half of the game the whole way through. You're still in control if you're the Hilltoppers if you stop them. Canfield comes down and score. They make it 14-7. They start to get some momentum. They're thinking they get back into this. So the tone for the second half and how it's going to be played is going to be set by this drive. The way the Hilltoppers have eaten clock, if Canfield doesn't score, they might not get the ball back until close to the fourth quarter, and that will change the way they have to play. So the entire tone for how this second half is going to be played is going to be set on this opening drive. This is a very important one for both teams.
Well, Nathan Tagger for the third time tonight set to kick things off. Appreciate you joining us here on GTV from Arrowhead Stadium in Girard, Ohio. A lengthy hour-plus bus trip from Titletown down here to Girard compared to a relatively short 20-minute drive for Canfield.
Got to give Tagger some credit there on this night with this wind to put one into the end zone for a touchback. Now, we got lucky on the timing, Matt, but it did lightly rain a little bit during halftime, but it got out of the way before we got to the start of the second half.
Well, we return to action. Lowry from the gun, two receivers, one on each side, two backs in the backfield, is right and left, low snap, picks it up. Lowry going ahead. Lowry spinning around and pushing the pile near the 30, maybe the 32. Still on his feet. Boy, we got a good old scrum going. And the official's going to stop it out near the 34.
Well, you want to talk about coming out with energy out of the locker room. That first run by Brock Lowry, the first 5 yards, he had space. And then the next 7, he dragged the entire Hilltopper defense with him across the first down marker to move the chains.
His offensive line may have given him some help there.
Almost certainly. But the thing is, when you get everyone together like that, it's hard to tell who's holding at who at that point in time.
So 1st and 10, Canfield from the 35. Lowry, again, straight ahead, spinning around. He likes to do that spin motion. Picks up a nice chunk of real estate there out to about the 39.
He likes to use that spin motion to try to either create some space or just make himself harder to get down. Now, if you're a Hilltopper at that moment, if he's spinning, you need to be trying to knock at that football there. If he loses his concentration on that football, you could potentially knock that out of there. So I'm going to be looking for that.
Cardinals in their all-white uniforms trimmed in red. Hilltoppers wearing the black. Red numbers trimmed in white. Lowry going to fake the handoff, going to throw receiver screen left side. And Chardon will be one tackle broken and a first down as Carochi out near the 45-yard line. So we're now seeing the Cardinals. They've made some adjustments, Ryan, and they're moving the football.
Well, we didn't see them do that QB run at all in the first half. They do it twice, opens up the screen, and there's no way around it. There's a missed tackle there on the outside by the Hilltoppers. That screen should not have gone for a first down. It was a missed tackle, and the chains moved.
Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke here with you at the 10:30 mark of the third quarter. 7-0 Hilltoppers. Crawford the carry. Crawford up the gut, and Crawford picking up maybe 2 yards on that run.
And for the first time in this second half, got a little push from the defensive line that time. Crawford still able to power forward for 3 yards. Canfield's come out with some energy, though.
These two teams, is talking with Doug Snyder, Chardon AD, prior to the game. He said, boy, it's like looking in the mirror on a lot of the cultural items that they do. And then school colors as well. Lowry going to look to throw, and a slant. It is caught for the first down. Oliver Kovas made the catch, spun, and picked up yardage.
Nice quick slant there. You had the corner thinking that was going to be a go route, and instead you turn, come across the field. You got open space, and you move the chains. So Canfield comes out, moving the ball on offense, and this is why having the first drive of the second half is so critical, because this is Canfield's opportunity to set the tone for this second half.
Lowry will give it up. Crawford again. Crawford, some running room. Crawford down near the 35-yard line. As the Cardinals now have something cooking here.
Well, the Hilltoppers have stalled the Cardinals out a couple of times at this part of the field, but This is the best Canfield has moved the football all night. First time all night the Hilltoppers defenses look like they're back on their heels. Canfield has them guessing.
No, they're playing with some confidence right now. From the gun, they fake the handoff. Lowry, 30, spinning around. Lowry, 25, and Lowry again moving the chains with the first down run. He carried a couple Hilltoppers with him.
Now for the Cardinals, this drive feels like a statement. They want to let the Hilltoppers know they're here for the second half of this game. And quite frankly, they did not play their best football of the season in the first half. They're looking to correct it here in the second half.
Again, Lowry fakes the handoff, cuts it up front, and Lowry meets the teeth of that defensive line, and he's pushed back.
When you watch the success of the QB runs, Matt, doesn't it make you wonder why they didn't go to that more often in the first half of this game? Because so far the Hilltopper, I mean, he picked up 2 there, but he drags 4 or 5 Hilltopper defenders with him. He's got a big size advantage on that Hilltopper secondary.
Brock Lowry, a junior, 6'3", 193. He's a big boy. 2nd and 8 from the Topper, 22. Chardon getting their defensive set. They'll look to throw the ball. It's a screen near side, and with the catch was Carochi, spun around and was fighting for yardage out near that marker on the far side.
And that's the change they've made in their passing game, Matt. They were trying to go downfield in the first half in this secondary. Now everything is, that's a short button hook again. You pretend like you're going to go down the field, then you turn around, you have space on the cornerback, you get the catch, set up 3rd down and 2.
Well, scoreboard officially says 1, but yeah, it definitely looks like a 2. Have to get to the 14 from the 16. They will hand it off, and Crawford gets the first down and then some as he nears the 10-yard line.
And now that the passing game is working, Matt, the running game is working for Canfield. And everything is by far their best drive of the game. Everything is working for them right now.
They will be marked a yard shy of the 10, so it will be 1st and 10 from the 11. They can pick up that first down. Problem for Canfield now, though, is the football field is shrinking. From the gun, they give it up to Crawford, left side, stopped in the backfield. A big stop, and I think that was Kisley who got him.
Try to give the Hilltoppers a different look there, but running that outside wasn't working for them. And that's another one of the things they changed. They were trying to get outside the tackles a lot in that first half. They adjusted. They've been going right up the middle and on these quick slant routes. That time they try to run something to the outside, get outside the tackle, and the Hilltoppers able to spread it out and take it down for a loss.
Toby Smith, the fullback, in there with Lowry. Smith will line up to Lowry's right from the gun. Looking to throw. Slant route, it is caught. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Cardinals.
That drive was all about halftime adjustments, right, Matt? They completely changed their game plan. Instead of throwing downfield, they're running quick slants and little button hook passes. Instead of running to the outside, they're going more right up the middle, running right at the defense, and they were able to march right up the field on the Hilltoppers. 6-minute drive. They were never really stopped, and they're in the end zone.
Canfield needs to bring a player on here to have enough of the special teams, the PAT kick. Kick is up. And it is good. So it's 6:10 left to play here in the 3rd. The Cardinals cut the lead in half. It is Chardon 14 and Canfield 7.
Tonight's special cablecast is funded by your cable subscriber franchise fees, and we'd like to again extend thanks to all the GTV funding communities, including those not funding tonight's contest, for their year-round support. They are Burton Village, Chardon Township, the City of Chardon, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township. Thanks again for supporting GTV, and thanks to all our viewers for their support. You wonder, Matt, if you're Canfield and you're feeling the momentum, Do you try something crazy here on this kick?
Honestly, yes.
Try to get that's what I'm thinking too. You got your crowd going right now. Your team is feeling it. All the energy and momentum is on the far side of that field. You could hear a pin drop over here right now, Matt. If I have it in my repertoire and I have the guys I think could do it, I might try something crazy here if I were Canfield.
Honestly,
try to get the ball back at midfield.
Even if it's not in my repertoire, I think I'd try it right now.
Consider it at least.
Hilltoppers are up, though, by a score, 14-7, as they will get the ball back pending this kickoff. It's a squib kick, and loose ball on the ground is covered up, and the Hilltoppers will take possession near the 37-yard line.
So this is where
It was Nick Fay who covered it up, by the way.
So this is where you see, Matt, if the first half work starts to cash in returns. So Canfield just got that big touchdown drive. A lot of these guys are two-way players, and their defense was on the field for most of the first half. Do you have them worn down to the point where you can just keep scoring, and it doesn't matter that they scored that one?
Toppers first down and 10 from about the 37. Henry has Carr behind him. Pettyjohn in motion, and it is Carr who has the carry out near the 42. Officials look like they'll be spotting it at the 41, so pickup of about 4.
Good first down run by Sean Carr there. Run to the inside and keep the offense on schedule by setting up a 2nd down and 6.
Well, and this is Chardon's best defense right now, is a time-consuming offensive drive that could potentially get you in the end zone here. Pettyjohn goes in motion. He gets the handoff. Pettyjohn trying to get around the end, cuts it up. Pettyjohn near the 45, where he stopped shy of the first down, but he picked up a nice chunk of yards there, about 4 on that run.
This is it. You have to pick up the first down. You do not like where the momentum in this game is if you go 3 and out here. This is a first down. If you're the Hilltoppers, you absolutely have to pick up.
We've seen Carr. We've seen Pettyjohn carry. Let's see what Coach Novatsik has dialed up here. And I wouldn't be surprised if it stays in the hands of number 6. He's had some good runs tonight. 3rd and 3 from their own 45. It is Henry. Henry is met in the backfield and dropped for a loss of about 2 yards on that play. 4th down.
Getting back there to make the stop that time was Ryan Schneider in the backfield, and the Hilltoppers go 3 and out, and man, the momentum in this game couldn't have changed. Hilltoppers were in control in the first half. Canfield is in control of this one right now.
Well, the one thing to remember, Hilltoppers went back under the tent during that short little drive, reviewed it, and I can tell you Coach Landis is going to have something dialed up.
Yeah, he definitely had the linebackers and the defensive linemen under that tent for sure, looking at what was happening.
High snap, oh no! McDonald gets it off. It will take a bounce near midfield, and the first major mistake of the night happens to the Hilltoppers.
Now you really got to see what they dialed up on that defense, because it's a short field. We talked about it pregame. You got to take care of the football. Those are the mistakes you can't afford to make in a game of this magnitude. And then to do it when momentum is already on the other side, that just adds to that fire for Canfield.
Well, the good news is at least they got the kick off. From midfield, Lowry. Lowry running, and Lowry a couple yards up the gut to about the 48 of Chardon. And the black jerseys were not fooled. And some good gang tackling there. Christian Hall, the last guy to get off the pile.
As we mentioned, they were under the tent. They were looking at it, trying to come up with a response. It is not very often that you see the Hilltoppers defense have a drive like that go. I'm thinking you got to go back to the Ursuline drive to see a drive that looked like that against this defense.
2nd and 8 from the 48. Lowry looking for a quick throw. It is caught, and another missed tackle will allow the first down from Carochi.
And that is the biggest thing that these missed tackles, you don't see that from this Chardon team. But that's the second first down reception of this second half for Canfield that comes after a missed tackle. Canfield should have been facing a 3rd and 5. Instead, they pick up the first down and they move the chains.
This is very uncharacteristic of this Topper defense. 1st and 10 from the 40. Lowry going to keep it himself, and Lowry in the backfield. Is it a loose ball? Hilltoppers have it. Hilltoppers have it across the 45 down near the 40. They strip Lowry and they get the ball back.
Sulka picks up the ball for the Hilltoppers. A huge play. Oh, the Chardon defense needed something like that the way the second half had gone. And they get the strip, and Sulka comes up with the football. And the Hilltoppers are at the 45-yard line. And the defense picks up the special teams as you have the mistake on the punt, and the defense comes out, makes the big play. Now if you want to turn the momentum back around in this game, you can't go 3 and out again. Got to score points on this drive if you're the Hilltoppers.
Well, indeed, and now you have to capitalize on this. Henry has it. Henry looking to try to go outside. No, he instead made a cut inside, wrapped up near the 35, pounded the turf. He knew he made that wrong cut.
Yeah, Drew Carochi got the stop. It was just a great play by Carochi. Henry was past him, and Carochi was able to get off the block of Ryan Peterson there and come out and make a play. He still picked up 5 yards. That's a good linebacker, and he got out there and made a play on you.
They did pick up 5, though. 2nd and 5 from the 35. Pettyjohn in motion. They give it to Carr. Carr spinning around, and Carr down near the 31.
So we're still at the point here, Matt, where, as you said on last drive, the best defense is a long, methodical drive that scores points. The critical piece of that scores points. Doesn't have to be 7, it can be 3. Something to make it a 2-possession game.
Well, this right now is a...
Well, you've got 2 downs here to pick this up.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a pivotal play here for Chardon. A tight wing T formation. Canfield going to stack the guys in the line. It's to Carr, and Carr gets the first down out to the 30.
The initial push by the offensive line was enough for Carr to squeak through and move the chains. That's a good, strong fullback run by Sean Carr.
These two programs, we talked about it earlier, they share a lot of similarities, including culture. They both love the weight room. They both love to be physical. They both love to hit. And no doubt about it, the winner of this one is going to be coming away black and blue, just as black and blue as the loser tonight. Carr right side makes a nice cut, and Carr down inside the 20, near the 17.
He did a great job to open up that hole on the right side of the line and get Sean Carr to run through for the first down and move the chains. As Peterson out there through the block.
You know, the defensive tackle, Dom Marzano, lost his helmet. He has to come off for a play for Canfield.
Helmet coming off revealed a nice mullet down there for him as he was running off the field.
Hey, he knows all about partying business.
I think the mullet is coming back, Matt. I see more and more of the kids with them nowadays.
It's Pettyjohn around the right side. Pettyjohn, nice cut, and Daniel Pettyjohn up near the 15, or excuse me, up near the 11. You know, we have seen a lot of growth from Daniel Pettyjohn throughout these playoffs. He's become a much more confident and mature runner.
Well, and the thing you notice today is the field vision. Once again, he makes the right decision. He sees, you know, earlier in the year, it kind of seemed like he wasn't always making the right cuts, wasn't going upfield at the right time. Tonight, he's been correct every time. Sees the right hole to run through to make that a positive play and not get stopped for a loss.
10 seconds to go in the half here, or excuse me, in the quarter. Toppers will give it back to Sean Carr. Sean Carr between the tackles. Left side, he picks up the first down to about the 5, and that will do it. We've played 3 quarters. Chardon up on top, 14-7.
Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club coverage of Chardon football is brought to you by Achilles Running Shop, the Burr Funeral Home, Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, Chardon Chester Rental, The Conic Law Firm, El Patron, DNS Automotive and Defender Auto Glass, Hazen Contracting Incorporated, The Junction Auto Family, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, Chardon Smile Center, Zarzer Motors, Joe Burnett at Union Home Mortgage and the McCaskey team, Lake Health Foundation, the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Matt Jaworski and Ryan Radke to hear from Arrowhead Stadium in Girard. Toppers up 14-7 as we begin the fourth quarter. They have the ball first and goal from the 5. They will send Caden Dawson split end to the right. Man in motion. Henry looking to make a cut toward the end zone, and Henry up near the 2. Nice job by the QB to pick up some good yards.
Yeah, good work there, running through the middle, picking up a couple. You really want to punch this one in, but you're still sitting at the 3. You don't want to get obsessed with the idea of punching this one in yet, though. You just want points. If you don't get there on 4th down, just send the field goal unit out, but ideally you want to get in the end zone.
Henry will go under center. And up the middle, touchdown, Toppers!
A Sean Carr running up the middle, getting into the end zone on the fullback dive. Second touchdown of the game for Sean Carr, 19th on the season. It's a huge score. Flip momentum back, and now there's really pressure on Canfield.
Well, this PAT just pivotal. But I think you're starting to see right there, Ryan, Canfield just beginning to look a little bit slower from a defensive standpoint. Good snap, good kick. It is up.
Wide
no
to the left.
Good, wide left.
I think that, you know, Canfield had pressure in the backfield. I think the blocker got to that one, got a hand on it, and knocked it out. Boy, that could be pivotal, Matt. You don't like to miss those in close playoff games like this. Well, here's a message for Hilltoppers everywhere who are watching tonight's game. The Chardon Schools Foundation, Chardon's academic boosters, are having a fall fundraiser. For almost 2 years, the foundation has been in a fundraising hold due to COVID. There was no TV or internet auction this past spring, and they haven't been able to host the annual Firecracker 5K the past 2 summers. So to get back in the game, the foundation is conducting a donation drive at their website, chardonschoolsfoundation.org. Donors will be eligible for entry into a drawing on December 1st, so please go to the chardonschoolsfoundation.org and donate to help CSF do great things for great students. Matt, as you pointed out in the first half, that money is for the classroom. It's not money for athletics. That's academic money raised to the Chardon Schools Foundation.
Well, and the Chardon School Foundation has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years for the classroom. What happens is the teachers write grants and they will review the grants and award them. That kick will be brought out from the 2, across the 15, and shy of the 20. So, not the best decision by Kovas.
Kovas wants to make a play. His team is down by 13 points. It's the 4th quarter of this game. He wants to make a play, but if he lets that one go for a touchback, they're out to the 25. Hilltoppers forced that fumble. Let's see how now this defense has really had a chance, Matt, to get under the tent and look at the film of that first drive out of the half. Let's see what kind of adjustments have been made. And frankly, now Canfield running out of time, they might have to change that game plan they were operating under.
Well, we may be seeing less Brock Lowry running. They're down 2 scores at this point, 20-7. They're going to send a man in motion. Swing it out on the right side. They're looking maybe for the flea flicker. Chardon getting some pressure in the backfield, and Chardon, what are they going to call? Loose ball. Are they calling a safety?
No, they gave him forward progress to the 3.
The Hilltoppers bench wants a safety.
I don't know how. I don't know
I'll tell you what though, they're huddling.
How could you give him forward progress?
That's what I think they're talking about, because the one official was pointing to the 1.
Well, you try to run a trick play against this defense. That was a mistake. They had that one snuffed out, and I mean, Paplia had no chance. Yeah, they put him out at the 4. That's a gift for Canfield. That should have been at the 1 at best with forward progress.
2nd and 22. Lowry will hand it off left side, and the Hilltoppers, do they get the safety that time?
Forward progress out to the 2. Forward progress is a loss of 2. This is the second time we've seen this from the Hilltoppers defense this year, Matt.
And folks, I'm going to tell you something. We talked to the guys after the game. They got upset when they didn't get a safety the last time.
It's the only thing this defense hasn't done this year, and they know it, and they want it. They want to get that safety.
So 3rd and 25 now from the Canfield 2. And desperation may be setting in for the Cardinals here with 9:48 and counting. Lowry going to empty out the backfield. Lowry now waving off a flag.
If it's a false start, it's half the distance to the goal. To say illegal substitution?
Yep.
Whoops. I mean, they had trouble. We saw them run someone out late before the last play. And you're right, Matt. They're starting to feel that desperation. They can't get the right personnel group out on the field right now.
Lowry empties the backfield. 2 left, 1 right. They're just going to punt it. That ball will roll down to about the 40.
You know, they never changed it on the scoreboard or on the chains, but what is illegal substitution, loss of downs? That might have turned it into a 4th down.
Either that or they just thought maybe it was the opportune time to get it out
and not give up that safety, one or the other.
Because you have a bad snap, that's 6 points right there.
Yep.
You get it out of your end zone.
Well, this Hilltoppers defense will have to live with still not having a safety on their ledger, but that was a big play. That was a big stop by them. And, you know, Canfield, you're down 2 scores. You try to run the trick play, and this defense is too good for that. And it sets you back. And, man, if the Hilltoppers can march down the field and score here,
that may do it. But this is a big defensive stop now, or a big defensive stand for the Cardinals here. Let's see what they can do. Hilltoppers will run the football. Coming between the tackles was Pettyjohn, spun around after a short gain.
Now, field goal here would still be a 2-possession game. It would require Canfield to convert on a 2-point try twice. But if the Hilltoppers want to make this a 3-possession game, due to that missed PAT, they're going to need to score a touchdown.
Chardon with a 2nd and 7 from the 45. Faking the handoff, Henry looking to go left side. Henry, open running room, 45, Henry on his feet, 40 to the 35, and knocked out of bounds just shy of the 30.
Well, and he, great job there as Logan Bryant with a block that saves the run at the line of scrimmage. Alex Henry takes off, and you're starting to see those missed tackles from Canfield, and all that work you put in the first half, those long methodical drives paying off. This Canfield defense is tired now, and this is Chardon football at their best. Again, this is what they did to Glenville way back on week 1. Get just long methodical drives in the first half. It's a close game, but you can put a team away in the second half because you've worn them down.
1st and 10 Chardon from the Canfield 33. And Henry will hand it off left side, across the 30, down near the 27, to Toppers will keep the clock running.
That's what you want to do. The clock is your friend right now. You're picking up yardage. Get 7 yards there.
.807 to go here in this one. Henry under center, sends a man in motion. He will hand it off Sean Carr, and Sean Carr gets near the 25. Will bring up 3rd down and short.
Picks up about 2, but you're on schedule here. You're 3rd and very short. This is probably 4 down territory here, Matt, so you got 2 tries to pick up this yard.
Short 1, long 2, or excuse me, short 2, long 1, no matter how you look at it here. And Chardon coming set. First down, Hilltoppers. Believe that was Carr.
Just fall forward and move the chains. Keep it going, nice and methodical.
It was. Well, all week long, the Cardinals talked about revenge. So far, it's been deja vu.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it at halftime, Matt. To me, the idea that it's the postseason, your playoffs are on the line is enough. Then you're throwing the revenge aspect in it too. As a coach, I don't know if I would go to the revenge card. Keep it to what it is. It's a big game either way.
Henry will give it to Carr, and Carr opening up some running room left side. They have just begun to ward down this Cardinal defensive line.
You can see it too, right, Matt? So in between plays, you see a lot more hands on hips from Canfield down there, and Cardinal was doing a really good job of keeping Chardon to short gains, 2 or 3 yards on first down. Now every play on first down is 5 or 6. You just keep going at teams and you wear them down, and as long as the defense can keep them off the scoreboard like they have tonight, just the 1 touchdown, gives your offense plenty of time to operate.
2nd and 4 from the 16. Carr again gets the call, and Carr down to the 5.
I mean, Canfield wasn't missing tackles in the first half. There's a missed tackle there. You're tired. You try to go in low and bring down Sean Carr. You miss him. He steps out, picks up the extra yardage. It's a first down that moves the chains. This is Chardon football at its finest. You scored the 63 points last week. That was really good football, but this is Chardon football at its best. It's a tough game. Chardon will come at you hard. They'll wear you out. And then they'll just run the ball down your throat to the finish line.
Carr again. Actually, was that Pettyjohn? He's in.
Hard to tell. I think it was Pettyjohn. That's 27 coming out of the backfield. So out of the end zone, I should say. So that was it. Now, it'll be interesting to see if the Hilltoppers go for 2 here to try to get that point back. Doing my math, it's currently a 19-point, 20-point game. You do want that point. There's not a huge difference between being up 19 or up 20, so... But no, they're lining up to just go for the point.
Well, at this point, with 5:27 to go, may not make a difference.
Coach Hewitt knows in the playoffs, you don't chase points. He's been here enough to know in the playoffs, you don't chase points. You take what's in front of you.
The PAT is good. And with 5:27 to go, Hilltoppers up there, lead 27-7.
Well, hey, if the Toppers hang on and win this one tonight, the next football game is going to be at a neutral site with a 7 p.m. kickoff once again next week. And it's time to talk about that streaming issue, Matt. The bottom line is we do not know what the status will be for streaming next week. There are a number of variables in play. Some are technical, some relate to the OHSAA and Spectrum. If we can stream, GTV will stream the game on the internet at chardonathletics.org and provide audio only on channel 1025. The OHSAA does not permit live video cable coverage. Again, we will try to stream the game unless Spectrum decides to stream our game. In that case, we can only provide audio coverage on channel 1025 and video replays on the following Saturday and Sunday. No matter whether we can stream or not, we will still provide video replays that weekend. So stay tuned to GTV for what we will be able to provide. And again, the later we get, Matt, the less choices there are for Spectrum to decide what games to stream. We can only do what we can do.
On the kickoff, Canfield trying to get something cooking. Kovas spinning around at the 20 and up near the 25. Hilltoppers say they have it. They do.
That's 2 straight returns now where Kovas has tried to do too much. And look, Matt, you can't fault a high school athlete for trying to make a play. That's what Kovas is trying to do. He's down there trying to make plays. They're still discussing it, Matt. They haven't decided. Chardon's offense is on the field. And now the discussion, wow. They're saying no. They're saying it's not a turnover. The call on the field was turnover. They got together and changed their minds. Okay.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Apparently you have to wait for the 30-second discussion after the play to know what happened.
Well, and now one official forgot to pick his beanie up off the ground.
This is a good, the coaches are shouting at them. This is a good beef. What could you have possibly decided in the discussion that you didn't see on the field?
Lowry dropping back to pass, going to throw it out left side. Kovacs couldn't hang on to it. Incomplete. And with 5:13 to go here, Ryan, something to keep in mind. These 27 points allowed tonight by Canfield, the most they've allowed to any opponent this year.
Yeah, really good defense. You know, before the game we talked about it might be difficult for anyone to get to 20, let alone 30. The Hilltoppers are close at 27. But yeah, and you drop that football, the throw comes in a little short, and you're starting to feel the pressure of where you're at in this game.
Topper faithful making noise. Slant is caught. And one missed tackle there, 40, 45, and out of bounds is Papalia.
You know, you'll give them the short slant routes when you're up 27-7, but you can't miss the tackles. You give them the short slant. You don't want to give them the chunk play. So you got to make that tackle, and that's a few times now. A Hilltopper defender has missed a tackle in an open field in this second half.
Three receivers right and one left, but back in the backfield for Lowry. Lowry has some time over the middle. It is caught by the big man, spinning around 40 down near the 35. And it was Karochi with the catch.
It's 27-7, Matt, but this game is not over yet. Canfield's got all 3 timeouts, and if they can keep the drive at this pace and score.
Quick throw, Karochi tackled near the 30. Hurry up offense, trying to get something going. They're looking now. Left side, it is caught. And Kovas spinning around is going to be tackled shy of the 5. He will be down around the 6.
That route,
first and goal, Canfield.
That route has been open all night, Matt. That's the first time they haven't dropped the ball when it's gotten out there.
And now Canfield has to play in a short field. First and goal from the 6. Under 4:30 to go. Lowry looking. Slow throw. Incomplete.
Ball hit the turf first. Man, right now, how big does this decision on that fumble down there look? Completely changes the game, kept Canfield in it. Now they're on the precipice of getting a touchdown. If you're the Hilltoppers, you got to shake that off. That didn't go your way. You got to move on.
Backfield for Lowry. He is a threat to run. Lowry looking. Left side, shy of the end zone. No score.
Great defensive play by Trey Liebhart. One of the best corners in the state in Division III comes up and makes a big play there.
Kovac stops short at the 1. 3rd and goal from the 1. Lowry from the gun. And Lowry looking to run it left side, and he is in the end zone. Touchdown. Got away from Brody Dotson. So the Canfield Cardinals get on the scoreboard with 3:58 to go.
Man, and that fumble call doesn't go your way, and Canfield marches right down the field and scores. It's going to be a 2-score game, and you still have the specter of that missed PAT hanging out there as well.
Ben Pugh out to attempt the PAT. Pugh puts that one through, so 3:58 to play. It's Hilltoppers 27, Cardinals 14.
We now have a new streaming service. See GTV through Roku and Apple TV with the Cablecast ScreenWeave app. Once the user has added the app to their Roku or Apple TV, they can watch both GTV channels, Channel 1020 Community Government Programming and Channel 1025 Educational Programming. So again, you can see GTV through Roku and Apple TV with the Cablecast ScreenWeave app. For more information, go to geaugatv.org or email geaugatv@windstream.net.
Well, Ryan, this is one of those games that initially looked like it could be a defensive score and maybe 30 points tops. Hilltoppers, with 3:58 to go, should get the ball back unless this is an onside kick here, with a chance to put up 30 if they can score.
Right, and that's the interesting decision for Canfield. You still have all 3 timeouts left, but the way that Chardon has marched down the field, you have confidence you get the ball back. Normally with 4 minutes left, even down 2 scores, you don't have to onside kick here if you have all 3 timeouts. You can make a kick and have your defense, ask your defense to get a stop.
They are going for the onside kick, and it looks like the Hilltoppers have recovered near midfield.
And they do. Fetchick falls on it. So here you go from midfield. You want to run the clock. Canfield's got 3 timeouts to burn. It has started to rain here. But Canfield just, they've looked tired on defense. They haven't shown they could get it. Now they just scored. What kind of energy do they have after that?
Pettyjohn goes in motion. Pettyjohn. No, it's Henry. Alex Henry with the call. Henry kept it himself. Sliced and diced, and he's up near the 41.
We got a flag. It's holding on Chardon. That's going to go back. You're going to end up behind the chains here.
Very few penalties in this one.
But that's a crucial one. It was at the line of scrimmage, so you're going to be facing about a 1st and 19, 1st and 20 now. That is a critical. And the other thing to keep in mind, if you don't pick up the 1st down, the punting game has not been reliable today.
Both sides, both teams have struggled punting the football with this wind. The only way there's been success when it's been low kicks. Pettyjohn gets the call this time. Pettyjohn trying to break a tackle, could not do it though, as Pettyjohn was wrapped up around the ankles by Carochi.
Yeah, Carochi was able to get back there and make the stop. And Canfield's going to use a timeout here. They have to. This is a huge moment in this game for both of these teams. Well, we'll mention it again before we're out. If the Toppers hold on and win tonight, the next football game is a playoff game at a neutral site, 7 p.m. kickoff. We do not know the status of whether we will be streaming next week or not. There are a number of variables. Some are technical, some relate to the OHSAA and what Spectrum will do. If we can stream, GTV will stream the game on the internet and at chardonathletics.org and provide audio only on Channel 1025. The OHSAA does not permit live video cable coverage. So we'll try to stream the game unless Spectrum decides to stream our game. And Matt, Every week there are less games, which increases those chances that Spectrum will decide to stream the game. But even if we can't stream, we will still provide that audio only on GTV, and then we can get you video replays over the weekend. So we will be here nonetheless to provide you with coverage.
If the Hilltoppers can close it out here, 3:36 to go, and this one up 27-14, facing a 2nd and 16 now from the 46. They give it to Sean Carr. Sean Carr lowers his shoulders, and Sean Carr out near the 46-yard line. Nice pickup there on 2nd down, and now all of a sudden the Hilltoppers have a 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, you're setting up at 3rd down and 7. You're still a little bit off schedule where you want to be because of the penalty, but you got a chance here, and you'll have a decision to make depending on how many yards you pick up. Hey, GTV is looking for cameramen and production assistants to help on our sports coverage. Email us at geaugatv@windstream.net if you're looking for some fun part-time work. Obviously, fall sports are wrapping up, but winter sports are right around the corner. We'll have basketball, we'll have wrestling, all kinds of fun stuff to check out. So if you want to work with us,
Canfield, this is the second time this postseason they're facing a team from Geauga County. They knocked off NDCL 42-14 in Week 11, and last week it was a 21-7 victory over Hubbard, a game that was actually close until the end. They were able to pull out a couple late touchdowns in that one. So 3rd and 7 now for Chardon. And they go back to Sean Carr. Sean Carr lowers his shoulder, gets the 1st down out near the 35-yard line.
That's a huge run by Sean Carr. So reliable. The senior comes through with the big fullback dive on 3rd and 8, picks up the 1st down, moves the chains. And once again, Matt, this is where wearing them down the first half pays off, because they're too tired to hold you back on a 1st and 20. No matter how much they need it, no matter how much they wanted to do it, you're able to run through them because you have just run at them the whole game and you've worn them down.
Well, you look at it this way, too. They now have 1 timeout left. Hilltoppers driving. 3 minutes to go in this one.
I don't do analytics, so I don't know what the computer says, but the computer says with that 1st down, Canfield's percentage chances of coming back went way down.
They go to Carr again, and Carr, some initial contact near the line. Boy, Drew Carochi, he has had a nice night. He makes that stop. He's made some big tackles defensively number of times, and he's made some big plays on the offensive side as well.
Yeah, offensive, and I mean, this is a good linebacking core. You know, Drew Carochi, we've seen Oliver Kovas make a number of good plays back there. Also Toby Smith. Canfield, this is a really good core of linebackers. They have played well tonight, but too much Chardon. Chardon's worn them out. It's difficult to play with this Chardon team for 48 minutes, especially when, as you mentioned, so many of these guys go both ways.
Now Canfield burns their final timeout. Winner of this one gets the winner.
Yeah, the winner of the Kenston game.
And Dover game. Of course, Kenston, they beat Harvey 38-15, and then Steubenville 49-42. They now have Nico Georgiou and Ryan Miller back, and they're expecting, if they win this week, to have J.P. Germano back next week. So should they win, that would be a very healthy Kenston Bomber team and a very different Bomber team than Chardon saw earlier in the season.
It will not be 49-0 this time around if we run into the Bombers next week.
Yeah, that was a Week 6 matchup. Topper's going to keep it between the tackles and keep the clock running.
Hey, the Bombers did a good job to survive, right? They got to this point with all those guys injured. I mean, they had to win a 3-0 game over Willoughby South, but they found a way. And now they're getting healthy at the right time for that to be, if it is Chardon and Kenston next week, a fun matchup. I think at last check, Kenston and Dover were tied at 7, correct, Matt?
Dover has taken the lead in that one, but still, they're very far behind us. I think they're just at halftime now, or maybe starting the 3rd. 2 minutes to go. Henry keeps it himself, just going to slide down. He saw way too many white jerseys, and that was a smart move. Ryan Schneider, the linebacker, was closest in the vicinity. So with 4th and 5 coming up, Hilltoppers going to continue to let time burn off the clock. I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if they call a timeout here when the play clock goes down to about 1.
Well, you're in 4-down territory here. I think on a different night with no wind, you might consider sending Tagger out there. But on this night, especially facing into the wind, you can't do that. So it's 4 down territory.
Peterson goes in motion, and the Toppers do call the timeout. Mitch Hewitt did it from the sideline.
If you could have gotten them to jump, it might have gotten interesting on the decision if you wanted to send Tagger out or not, but you couldn't do it.
I got a feeling that's what they were trying to do in Canfield, disciplined enough not to do it. Hey, we mentioned how Kenston got to this spot in the postseason. Worth bringing up Dover real quick. Dover had to beat St. Vincent St. Mary, and that was a thriller, 18-15.
We just remember when we looked on there and we saw St. Vincent St. Mary was going to be somewhere down in the bottom 4. We knew a top 4 team was going to get a really tough matchup. That's what happened.
They then had another one, 43-42 over Aurora in overtime.
That was a good Aurora team that Dover beat.
And now they're locked in a battle with Kenston.
That's a Division 3 Region 9 is just so stacked this year. That's a tough road. You're the number 2 seed. And you have to go through St. Vincent St. Mary's, Aurora, and Kenston. That is a tough road for a 2 seed, I'll tell you. That's a stacked region.
Well, Kirtland's region has been called the region of doom. I'd like to say that Division 3 Region 9 just is similar here.
Some good football in Northeast Ohio at every level.
Sean Carr with the carry. Sean Carr will be shy of the first down by a little bit, so they will turn the ball over on downs with 1:18 to go.
You did enough of what you needed to do. You made Kenston absorb all their timeouts. You took about 3.5 minutes off the game clock. Kenston only has 1:18, down by 13. The offense didn't need to score on that drive, Matt. They just need to do that, and that's what they did.
Out comes the defense here, 1:18 to go. Lowry empties out the backfield. We've seen this throughout the night. Lately it's been those short passes, but now he might be going for broke. Gonna bring it near side, and one missed tackle, but that was it as Kovas able to get out of bounds.
Stop the clock with 1:11 left. You're right. Their adjustment they made on the first drive was go to those short passes and keep things underneath the Hilltoppers secondary, and they drove down the field on that first drive of the half. You can't do that now. You don't have enough time, and you have no timeouts left. So everything has to be down. You're going to run out routes, but you want to at least get to the chains every time on the out route. You want to pick up a first down with every throw.
Lowry again, this time he'll look right side, and incomplete.
You know what? I think you'll take that incompletion if you're Canfield. Where that ball was thrown, it was going to be difficult for the receiver to get out of bounds. So it's better that that pass was incomplete because the clock stopped.
Minute 6 to go, 2nd and 10, Canfield from their 38. Down by 13, the Cardinals trying to make a last-ditch effort here. Lowry dropping back to pass, feeling some pressure. Gonna dump it off toward the sideline. Incomplete, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
Oliver Kovas was in the area of that throw, but it's really difficult to go against this defense when they know exactly what you're doing. So they had that pressure coming into the backfield immediately and just had to dump that ball off and get it away. Alex Kisley, who's had a great game tonight, was in the offensive backfield again, providing pressure that time.
Third and 10, looking a slant over the middle is caught. First down across the 50, down to the 47, and Carochi again comes up clutch. Now clock under a minute to go.
Yeah, clock stops until the chains are set.
Low snap, Lowry looking to throw right side. Ball is complete, but inbounds.
And that's not what you didn't pick up a first down, you didn't get the ball out of bounds, and that clock just keeps on draining.
It was Gavin Raymond who made the catch, 2nd and 2 from the Hilltopper 42.
He'll take a knee on that one.
Spiked it.
Try to give them, spike the ball there to try to give themselves an opportunity. Third and 4. Just 40 seconds left. That last drive by the Hilltoppers offense. Great game for the defense, obviously, but you can't let what the offense did tonight go unnoticed. Because it wasn't just the defense today that kept this game away from Canfield. The offense did enough to get the job done, and that last drive where they burned that clock was impressive.
Canfield averages 31 points a game. They've put up 372 points this year, and right now they've been held just to 14. Think about this, by the way, too. Last time someone has scored at least 13 was Willoughby South.
Yeah.
So we go 4 weeks ago. It's taken someone this long to get that many points against Chardon. And to go back even farther, the last time someone actually scored just 14 was week 1 against Glenville. So the next highest output was week 3, Ursuline, 27. So tonight's the second highest scoring amount of scores that the Hilltoppers have given up all season long.
It's only the 4th time all year the defense has given up more than 1 touchdown in a game.
Over the middle, incomplete on 3rd down.
Well, the defense showed it tonight. They had that one drive where Canfield moved on them. They got under the tent. They made their adjustments. And the offense showed it too. The offense showed what they could do. Keeping the ball on the ground, draining that clock, and wearing down their opponent.
Well, folks, bring the cowbells wherever next week. We're going to need them. So great to have the Chardon faithful back in full bore here. Catch made outside the 30. That will be good enough for a 1st down. Clock running under 30 seconds to go. It was Crawford who made the catch. He had a nice night last week, but he's been pretty well bottled up tonight. Low snap, Lowry looking to throw toward the end zone. It is nearly intercepted.
Well, that was a spectacular play, because you would have had to get ready for the razzle-dazzle if that, and I think, was that Columby who got over there? Just a fantastic play, because that was a touchdown. And Columby comes into the screen and knocks it down.
Well,
we would have been getting ready for all sorts of fun if that had gone through.
The sophomore is the team leader in interceptions. "17 seconds to go. Lowry will look to go left side. It's picked. And the Hilltoppers are running it back toward midfield. Christian Hall with the INT, and that will do it.
Huge interception for Christian Hall. 2nd turnover of this night for the defense. And the Hilltoppers, after that play, are going to get a 15-yard penalty tacked on for the celebration, but that matters very little.
Well, the Hilltoppers will return.
Oh, they didn't get a penalty. Oh, they did. Sideline warning.
Yep. The Hilltoppers set to return to the regional finals for the 3rd time in 3 years.
Fantastic run for these Chardon Hilltoppers, and the winning streak moves on to 25 now? 25. Math is hard. I had to do the 12 and the 10, and now that's 3 in the postseason, so 25 now.
Henry takes a knee, and that does it. The Toppers win tonight, 27-14, as they advance to the regional championship next week against the team yet to be determined. With that, we're going to take a quick timeout here on GTV.
Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club coverage of Chardon football is brought to you by the Achilles Running Shop, the Burr Funeral Home, Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company, Chardon Chester Rental, the Connick Law Firm, El Patron, DNS Automotive and Defender Auto Glass, Hazen Contracting Incorporated, the Junction Auto Family, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Precision Orthopedics, Residence Artists, Chardon Smile Center, Zarzer Motors, Joe Burnett at Union Home Mortgage and the McCaskey team, Lake Health Foundation, the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Welcome back, everyone. Arrowhead Stadium here in Girard. It's a good night for the Hilltoppers, and it'll be a fun bus ride home. 27-14 winners. They grind it out, knock them out, run it out of fair, and boy, Ryan, what a game by the Chardon offense.
This one was fun tonight, wasn't it, Matt? The whole time. Lots of energy, very intense, lots of drama. And, we talk about the defense all the time, and they did their job again. But this offense today was so methodical, moving the football down the field, eating that clock, wearing down their opponent. Ended up with 4 touchdowns tonight. Very good game. Then on the other side, defense, 2 more turnovers. They do a good job at getting off the field as they normally do. But this is just a great game for the Hilltoppers. It was so intense. It was so much fun. It's always fun when Chardon and Canfield meet on the gridiron, and this was a fun one again tonight.
Well, folks, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to throw it down to the field and listen to what Coach Hewitt has to say as he's addressing his team.
Incredible job. Great job on true doubles, baby. Hey, one question. I don't have to run on Monday, do I? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Hey, Christian, what do you think? Coach Hall pulled a hamstring. Christian. Should he run? Progressive. He got 15 yards. He got Coach Hall makes Sean do it. Hey, there's 8 teams left in the state, man. 8. Narrow your focus. Dig in. Here we go. The Hilltoppers are coming. Good job. Yeah. Not just that. This is the class of the year that was supposed to be down, right? We graduated everyone. We lost everyone, right? And now you're sitting here at 13-0 for the first time since 1998, fellas. This team, if you stay together and continue to get better, is unstoppable. I'm telling you, say it, proclaim it, believe it with your heart and soul. We just went on the road. We defended the hill, right? We went on the road like true warriors. We got beat up a little bit, right? But we're going home on our boats, fellas. 13-0, you should be proud of this. 25 in a row. How many? 25. 25 games in a row. Yeah. But the big one is 3-0. Yes, one. I thought we took care of it. That's all. Halfway, boys. Halfway, boys. Still, that's what you do. You have to sacrifice your own boat so your men know that there's no way home unless you defeat the enemy and take their boats. And that's what we're doing. I didn't explain that well enough. That was my bad. I thought you just said we weren't there. Hey, I think Sean Carr is unanimous. Let's go, Sean. Let's go, baby. Hold on. Hey, there's a lot of warriors here, man. This is like, you can look him up decades from now. And young Hilltoppers, listen to this. This is not, I'm going to bust his balls a little bit here, not the most talented player on the field, but his heart is massive, man. His heart is big and his work ethic is there. And he's the epitome of a Hilltopper. And when we talk about this kid 20 years from now, forever. 20 years from now, break it down. Yeah! Hell yes, son! New boats. Break it down on new boats. We got yachts. New boats. New boats. What's the motto today? One. We're on. New boats on 3. 1, 2, 3. New boats.
Welcome back, everyone. GTV, Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you. Boy, great words of wisdom from the coaching staff.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun tonight. That's a big win against a good program, and now you get ready for next week, either Dover or Kenston. It'll be another good program. As we were talking about, this region is a pressure cooker, and you'll have another tough one tomorrow night. But man, what a game tonight for the Hilltoppers. 2 more touchdowns for Sean Carr, 19 on the season. Great job by Alex Henry running that offense, and of course the defense again. This one was a lot of fun. The Hilltoppers a big win tonight, man.
Absolutely. With that, we want to say thanks to the folks out here in Girard for their hospitality. Also thanks to Chardon Athletic Director Doug Snyder. And our executive producer Dave Jevnikar, director and cameraman tonight, Brian Foster, my partner Ryan Radke. I am Matt Jaworski. On behalf of all the rest, we wish you all the best. We'll see you next week in the regional finals.